Well, good evening and welcome to the Board of Selectmen informational session for March 23rd, 2021, starting here at 6:30 p.m. And welcome to spring in Wenham. I think first up is the public input. And just a reminder that as we approach the election, and again, as we approach the 6 May election, that this is not a forum for endorsing candidates or particular ballot messages. But otherwise, Jackie, anybody got their hand up in the chat room like to speak tonight?
Not at this time, Mr. Chairman.
All right. So let's just move ahead then. And I think, Tom, you've got it for
Yep.
next few slides here.
Yep, thank you, Mr. Chairman. First, again, reminding our residents that you may order a printed copy of our annual town report. You may order it on our website at wenhamma.gov/town report by April 12th, and you may be picking them up at Town Hall. A digital version of it will be available online in mid-April. Also, be aware that warrants for the annual town meeting will be available online by mid-April and delivered to households via USPS, the Postal Service, by April 24th. Our office will be able to answer any questions in Roebuck at wenhamma.gov or 978-468-5520. Some other announcements and reports. First, I want to thank our Board of Assessors and our assessing manager. Basically, an hour ago, just voted to release $125,000 of their overlay surplus to the town for utilization in the upcoming FY22 budget. I want to thank them for working with us cooperatively, and I appreciate their effort in my short time I've been here. Next, our planning department has notified us that they are going to begin a comprehensive update of their regulations utilizing grants from MAPC in the Executive Office of Energy and Environmental Affairs. The update will focus on technical aspects of our regulations, as well as areas where we need to identify and implement best practices based on climate adaptation and areas where regulations are inconsistent or in conflict with each other. What they're going to focus on are the subdivision rules and regulations, which were last updated in 1984, zoning bylaws, stormwater regulations, general bylaws, and water resource protection bylaws. So they're going to begin that work starting in April, and I'll be sitting in on that and bringing updates back where need be. Next, on some good news financially, I want to thank our COVID team for working with the Mass Department of Public Health. We will be receiving $14,705 through MAPC to utilize those funds for any additional costs associated with the COVID-19 pandemic. So thank you to our team for working with the DPH and MAPC on that, and those funds will be very useful to us. Also, I want to thank our DPW director, Mr. Tyak. He has filed for a grant, basically $66,000 with MAPC for our culvert replacement plan. They award those grants in July and generally execute in August. So hopefully this summer we'll be getting some good news from MAPC regarding that grant. Also, last announcement, and this is coming on the eve of our special election and our regular election. It's generally been my practice that I would prefer for boards and committees not to schedule meetings during town elections. So if you can at all possible avoid those two dates, the one upcoming right now is April 5th. For the special election, it would be appreciated, so we may be able to focus on the elections. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah, just to jump in there. So the election is on the 8th.
8th, I'm sorry.
Right. We got something else occurring on the 5th that we'll go over in a minute.
Right.
And
April
who
8th,
was
I'm
it,
sorry.
we ought to give credit to, who went out and got that planning board grant?
Yes. The grant
Was that,
from, I'm sorry, Mr. Chairman, where,
yeah, was that Margaret that went out and got that grant for the planning board?
I assume Margaret and her team, yes.
All right, great job on that.
Yeah. And Mr. Tyak is going after the culvert grant with MAPC. So thank you for our DPW team. Also, my meeting schedule as of right now is Finance and Advisory Committee tomorrow night at 6:30 as they finalize the budget recommendations. Thursday, March 25th, the select board is meeting at 5:30 regarding the closure of the warrant. On 5:45, Gary and myself will be meeting with the Board of Health. Basically, that discussion is going to be involving possible reopening of town hall based on COVID updates. And then at 7 o'clock, I go into the Town Government Study Committee, their study team for the 3 to 5 board members at 7 o'clock that evening. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. So I would also urge everybody to attend that Finance and Advisory Committee tomorrow night, as that should be the wrap up to finalize the budget. So Mary Beth, you're up with our latest COVID, and I hope much better numbers, I understand.
Yes, thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. First, I want to start, I had meant to say this last week. I want to give a huge shout out to Nikki Roebuck for the beautiful photos on the town webpage. If you haven't visited the webpage, I would encourage you to click on and take a look. There is a stunning photo of Town Hall that Nikki caught with a beautiful pink sunset in the background. And then selfishly, the photo that comes right after that captures some of the action at our recent drive-through COVID vaccination clinic. And I'm very proud of that effort. So thank you so much to Nikki and to Michael for providing our town those fantastic photos. In terms of current case count, as of today, we have had 241 confirmed cases of COVID-19 and an additional 18 probable cases of COVID-19. The numbers of increase are definitely slowing, which is very positive. We're, according to the state weekly report, we're in our 5th week consecutively of being in the gray, which is the lowest risk zone. So that's very, very good news, but not a reason, I believe I said this last week, not a reason to become complacent. The weather is beautiful outside, which is wonderful, but we have not gotten rid of COVID-19, and we certainly are beginning to see in the state more cases of variants. So I would implore residents of our town to continue to use their face coverings, to continue to practice frequent hand washing. Please use physical distancing with those not of your household, and to seek vaccination as quickly and efficiently as you can when your priority group becomes available for vaccination. And as you probably have heard from the governor, there's a plan to get everybody vaccinated or eligible for vaccine within the next 6 weeks or so. So please do seek it out when you have the possibility. Testing update, I would continue to encourage people to use the state website to locate the most convenient area to go seek testing for yourself. If you look, we do have a link on our COVID-19 webpage. There are still, we're not really calling them Stop the Spread test sites anymore. You can still Google Stop the Spread MA to find that information. But the private as well, privately owned things like CVS and Urgent Cares and the state-run sites are all on that same webpage and available for people to see. Vaccination distribution update. So as I alluded to earlier, the governor rolled out the information about when different priority groups will be eligible for a vaccine. If you, the state has an ability to pre-register for the mass vaccination sites. And you can also use VaxFinder to find other sites available to seek your vaccination. And I think that's all I have right now. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mary Beth. All right, special town election coming up pretty soon on Thursday, April 8th. It'll be from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. at the town hall for voting. We'll be setting up the town hall to keep everybody safe. One-way traffic in from the parking lot and out the front door. So that'll be available to everyone. April 2nd is the last day to request an absentee ballot. And once again, on the ballot, there's one selectman position for one term that runs through the 2022 town election. And those candidates are James Goody, Catherine Harrison, and Mark Liphart. For town clerk, one position, and that runs for 2 more years. And that's Lisa Craig and Trudy Reed. So I hope everybody will get out and vote in that special election. All right, the annual town meeting is scheduled for Saturday, May 1st at 1 p.m. We're going to hold it in Pingree Park as we've done the last couple at 211 Main Street. The voter check-in will begin at 12 o'clock. We'll be using parking at the library and also from the Main Street side of the parking. And we'll have a tent, not quite as big as the original one last summer, but we'll be using a tent. And we'll plan on using the electronic voting inside. And do bring your masks and all the PPE you need for this. But I think that we have a pretty straightforward agenda on the warrant and should not take too much time, hopefully. Anything else to add to that, Tom or Jackie or Nikki on the planning for the town meeting?
Just a reminder is masks are required at town meeting.
Sounds good.
Gary, may I also add that we are getting to the time of year where folks may have handouts that they want to distribute about a particular article or item at town meeting, and those need to be submitted to the town administrator's office for approval by the interim moderator prior to town meeting. So anything like that should be directed to the nroebuck@wenhamma.gov email if it comes up in the next few weeks.
Good reminder there, Jackie. Anything, Nikki, you want to add?
Sorry, my finger's on the trigger of the slideshow. No, nothing to add tonight.
All right. All right, so on to the annual town election, Thursday, May 6th, also will be at the town hall, 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. April 9th will be the last day to register to vote. So you still have time to register to vote, and that will get your ability to vote both at the town meeting and the annual election. April 30th will be the last day to request an absentee ballot. So we have quite a few offices that will be filled: assessors, board of health, selectmen, library trustee, regional school committee, moderator, planning board, water commission, and Wenham Housing Authority. So again, let's participate in democracy and come out and vote on that May 6th and make sure you're registered to vote prior. Thank you. Next is important dates. As we said, tomorrow is the Finance and Advisory Committee at 6:30 p.m. And then on Thursday will be the warrant for the annual town meeting will be closed. Next. All right, tonight we have Department of Public Works Director Bill Tyak will be telling us all about his department there and all the roads, culverts, all the other tasks. And I think most people will be surprised that your initial view of what DPW is really not nearly as much as what they actually do out there. So it's a large operation, many facets to it. And I'll turn it over to Bill if you're ready.
Ready.
You got it then, Bill.
Okay, I'll start out with the mission of the Department of Public Works. The mission of the Public Works Department is to provide essential services to the citizens of Wenham in a prompt, courteous, safe, efficient, and cost-effective manner. Public Works, through its dedicated employees, strives to plan, design, build, maintain, and operate public infrastructures in a manner that respects the environment and the ability of government to adequately preserve these assets for succeeding generations. In the area of operations, we've got 34 miles of roads, 64 miles of sidewalks, 525 catch basins, 14 culverts. We mow 2 cemeteries, 2 parks, 2 monuments, town buildings, and 4 schools. We maintain 3 cemeteries, 2 parks, 1 beach, and 7 town buildings.
So I think, Bill, people might not be knowledgeable, the fact that you actually do all the schools or the 4 schools, all the mowing there.
We do all the mowing for the schools. We used to do it with Hamilton, but Hamilton doesn't do it any longer. And at the high school, middle school, we just do the athletic fields out back. But the 3 elementary schools, we mow everything.
All right.
And the Department of Public Works, the staffing, I've got 1 foreman, Keith Carter, who's been there 11 years. I have 3 driver operators, Sean McCarthy, he's been there 4 years. Bill Wilds has been there 20 years. And Mitchell Albanese has been there for 3 months. Heavy equipment operator, Sean Davis, he's been there for 37 years. And my group leader, heavy equipment operator, Aaron Coate, he's been there for 3 months. And our mechanic, Reed Williamson, has been there 3 months. And the administrative assistant, Sheila Bouvier, who answers the phone anytime anybody has an issue, she's been there for 5 years. We have a facility director, Mike Hardy. He's a master electrician and has been very helpful in maintaining our buildings. He's been there for 1 year and 8 months. And myself, who have been there for 15 years. And the equipment, we have quite a bit of equipment at the Public Works. And let me review it quickly. We've got a front loader that we purchased in 2019. We have a backhoe that we purchased last year. We have a 1-ton dump truck that we bought in 2008. We're looking to replace that soon. A trackless, which is a multi-use, it is used every week of every year. And it also is the only machine that snow blows all of our sidewalks. We're looking to replace that next fiscal year as well. We've got a dump truck that we purchased in 2002. A brush chipper that's a 1998, still runs great. We're looking at replacing that in 2024. A 2010 pickup, a Jacobson mower, which is used every day in the summer. It's a 1987. Runs great, but we can't get parts for it anymore. And we're looking to replace that in 2026. We have a 98 Bobcat, 2014 pickup, 2011 International dump truck, 2015 Chevrolet 1-ton dump, another 2015 pickup, and a 2017 Peterbilt dump truck. All the dump trucks have Sanders. We have a mini excavator we purchased with the cemetery and water department in 2016. And we have a mower that we use on all the streets, which is a 1974 International. And the leak vacuum we purchased in 2018. So we've got quite a fleet to maintain. And we do an aggressive job in preventative maintenance to make sure all of it lasts. The tasks.
Quick question, Bill. Can
Sure.
I ask, while we're on the equipment, how many of those trucks do you usually put into service during the snow plowing days?
Every one of them, except for the tractors. Every dump truck and pickup is on the front end loader, the backhoe. The trackless does all the snow blowing. Every vehicle we have 5 pickups, 3 dumps, and 3 mid-sized dump trucks.
Thank you.
Some of the tasks that we do in the DPW on a regular basis, we road and sidewalk maintenance, paving roads, EPA mandated water sampling of catch basins and outfalls. We sample all the catch basins annually and all the outfalls, which is where the street drainage goes before it goes into a stream. And we have to look for contaminants and find and eliminate the source of the pollutant. And EPA is watching us do that through the MS4 permitting. We mow, leaf pickup, tree work on public properties. We maintain 7 baseball fields and athletic fields, including all the schools. We replace and rebuild catch basins. We maintain all drainage outfalls and meet the MS4 permit regulations, which is part of the EPA I was just talking about. We have to inspect and document any repairs or replacements. We get audited annually on this. We perform preventative maintenance on all town vehicles and heavy equipment. That includes the police department. We dig all graves in the cemeteries and maintain records per Mass General Law. We plow all roads, town buildings, Buca School, and snow blow all sidewalks. All remove and maintain all roadway signs on town roads. And remove and chip dead trees on all roads and town properties. Trim trees, bushes, and hedges as needed, including all the schools. More tasks performed by our facility director, Mike Hardy. He performs maintenance on all the HVAC equipment in town buildings, including boilers, air handlers, air conditioning equipment, control systems, air filters, and pumps. Schedule and assist with all state inspections, including fire alarm, sprinkler systems, fire extinguishers, elevators, and boilers. He oversees the cleaning in all the town buildings and keeps janitorial supplies stocked and organized. Both of us together, we apply for green community grants and work with contractors to ensure town buildings can run as efficiently as possible. Prioritize and coordinate all capital building projects, including painting, re-roofing, septic systems, and renovations. Set up and break down all selectmen meetings, town meetings, and elections. Keep snow and ice clear from town buildings, walkways, emergency exits, and parking lots. And the town buildings always include the iron rail tenants. So to summarize, the Department of Public Works is comprised of the highway facilities and ground maintenance, snow and ice management, and tree warden functions. All three areas are under the direction of the DPW director. Services provided by the DPW include maintenance, repair, and construction of town's infrastructure, roads, equipment, and property. Highway Department is responsible for 34 miles of road, 525 catch basins, 18 pieces of equipment, 16 vehicles, including police and council on aging, 2 parks, 3 cemeteries, 64 miles of sidewalks, and all town-owned buildings. And that's pretty much sums it up. There's a lot of other things we do, but you know, I'd be here all night, I think, if I went into everything the guys do. We have quite a crew. They work hard every day. And, you know, I appreciate everything they do.
Well, thank you, Bill, and the entire team out at DPW. I hope the public realizes, having seen this briefing, the wide ranging responsibilities you have and the large number of tasks that DPW handle every day with really quite a minimal staff. And we were looking forward to getting some new vehicles, I think, in this budget and the years ahead. So thank you. Does anybody have any questions, comments, Tom, or anybody in the chat room? I guess not. Then thank you, Bill, for a good briefing there. And if we can move to the next slide. New business, other matters as may not have been reasonably anticipated, discussion only. So Tom, anything else to add?
No, Mr. Chair.
All right.
Fine here.
All right. So we've got Board of Selectmen will meet Thursday to close the warrant. Important Board of Health meeting on Thursday as we discuss reopening plan for the town buildings. One more session next week and the week after, then will be an election, and hopefully we'll have a quorum reestablished on the Board of Selectmen. So Nikki or Jackie, anything else to add tonight?
Nothing from me.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. And thank you, Catherine, as always, for taking the minutes. Otherwise, I think we're done for tonight. We've got some important events, and I know the town hall employees are all busy getting ready for the town report, the town warrant, the elections, as well as the town meeting itself. So any questions you have, send them into the town administrator and we'll get responses to you soon. All right, last chance. Anything else? Otherwise, we'll close this meeting for this evening. All right. Well, thank you, everybody, for attending, and we'll see you. The meetings, hopefully tomorrow night is the next one. All right.